Virology is a pseudoscience, and the viruses they claim cause disease have never actually been proven to exist. It all started with germ theory. When Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch couldn't find a bacteria for every disease, they didn't question their theory. They invented a scapegoat, an invisible, filterable agent smaller than bacteria. The virus wasn't discovered. It was a concept created to save a failing hypothesis. From the very beginning, its existence was inferred, not proven. When virologists say they isolated a virus, you probably picture them taking a sample from a sick person and separating a pure virus particle. That has never happened. Not once. Here's what they actually do. They take unpurified fluid from a sick person, a mix of mucus, bacteria, human cells, and who knows what else. They don't clean it. Instead, they mix this gunk with toxic antibiotics, animal serum, and then dump it onto a culture of cells, usually from monkey kidneys or aborted human fetuses. They starve and poison these cells for days until they start to break down and die. They call this cell death the cytopathic effect, and they claim it's proof a virus is killing the cells. The resulting toxic soup of dead cells and chemicals is what they call a virus isolate. They never prove a virus was in the sample to begin with. They just assume it, and then use the cell death they created as proof. It's completely circular reasoning. But what about the pictures from the electron microscope? Those famous spiky balls? They take a drop of that same toxic soup, subject it to a destructive chemical process that kills and distorts everything, and then look at the debris under a microscope. They point to a random particle, which is indistinguishable from normal cellular debris or exosomes, and declare, that's the virus. No purification, no proof it came from a person, no proof it's pathogenic. It's just pointing at a dot and telling a story. And the viral genomes? They're created on a computer. They take all the random genetic fragments from that unpurified cell culture soup, human DNA, monkey DNA, bacterial DNA, and use software to stitch together a sequence they think looks like a virus. This digital model is then called the reference genome. It's not from a real purified virus. It's an in silico creation. That's why there are millions of variants for something like SARS-CoV-2. They're just tweaking the computer model. It's a digital phantom, not a biological reality. Antibody tests are just as bad. The whole idea of a specific lock and key antibody is a myth. These tests are notoriously nonspecific. Antibodies for SARS-CoV-2 have been shown to cross-react with everything. Other coronaviruses, herpes, the flu, bacteria claim to cause Lyme disease, and even foods like milk, peanuts, and broccoli. Using an antibody test to prove infection is like using a key that opens every door in the building to prove you live in one specific apartment. The most damning evidence against virology is that they can't even prove transmission. During the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, doctors at the U.S. Public Health Service conducted experiments on 100 healthy volunteers. They sprayed fluids from sick patients directly into their noses and eyes. They injected their blood. They had them sit face to face with sick patients and inhale their coughs. The result? Not a single volunteer got sick. They repeated these experiments multiple times, and they failed every single time. If the deadliest virus in history can't be transmitted under perfect experimental conditions, maybe the whole idea of contagion is wrong. Real science follows a method. To prove a microbe causes a disease, you must satisfy Koch's postulates. Find it, isolate it purely, give it to a healthy host to cause the same disease, and re-isolate it. Virology has never fulfilled these steps for any alleged virus. They skip the science and rely on indirect evidence, assumptions, and fallacies. They don't have proof. They have a narrative. A story propped up by toxic cell cultures, computer-generated genomes, and horrific animal experiments. It's not science. It's a belief system, and it's been deceiving us for over a century. Don't take my word for it. Go read the methods section of any virology paper. You'll see they never start with a purified virus. The lie is right there in their own words.